I'm Heather, a 42-year-old part-time housewife. My husband Trevor and I had an arranged marriage. At our matchmaking meeting, he modestly mentioned that his hobby was saving money. Even before we got married, he wasn't into flashy activities and would use coupons when we went out to eat on dates. I thought maybe he's got a good personality for diligently saving money. He was reliable and gentle, and I agreed to his marriage proposal. I'm a plain person myself, and I don't have any particular hobbies. My idea of a hobby was growing carrots and green onions in plastic bottles to save money. We lived in a cheap apartment and had a happy life with our only child, Kendra. 10 years have passed, and our daughter is now in the 4th grade. Recently, I've noticed that my husband is more focused on making money or trying for a get-rich-quick scheme than saving money. Right after we got married, I asked him if he would gamble on horse racing or other sorts. He firmly said, "I don't do that kind of hobby." But then I came home to find him holding a brown wooden object with a big grin on his face. "What is that?" I asked, and he replied, "I bought it from a street vendor near the station." That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking what it is. Turns out it was a bear statue. It's one of those Ainu traditional wood carvings that used to be at the entrance of every house in the previous generation. The one with the bear holding a salmon swimming upstream. The strange thing about this bear was its pose. Normally, the bear would be facing sideways with its face turned to the left, holding the salmon in its mouth. But this one was facing forward, holding the salmon proudly. It's a bear. I know that. But why a bear? And why buy it from a street vendor? And that's not even the right one. He explained. It's supposed to be good luck. He said the salmon symbolizes fortune. And the fact that it's facing forward is really rare. It's supposed to bring good luck directly to us. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. That sounded like a complete stretch. And it looked like it hadn't been sold for a while, covered in dust. How much did you pay for it? You won't believe it, he said, grinning from ear to ear. It was originally $200, but the seller let me have it for $100. He said he could see some deep connection between us. $100 for a bear? I was speechless. What a deal, right? It'll bring in good fortune for just $100. We'll be rich. He excitedly placed the bear in the most prominent spot in our entryway. As for whether the bear brought us any luck, whenever someone visited, we'd have a brief moment of excitement with comments like, "Oh, I remember one of these bears. These used to be in every house." Or, "How unusual! I've never seen one facing forward before." Other than that, my husband was thrilled when he got an extra slice of pork at the company cafeteria one day. Tired of the silliness, I told him, "Stop spending money on unrealistic things like attracting luck." But he misunderstood my advice, which led to an even more surprising event that happened during the summer bonus season. About the bonus, my husband brought up during dinner. "Yeah, thanks for your hard work. Our vacuum cleaner has been acting up, so I want to replace it. And we need a new air conditioner too. I was also thinking about moving to a new apartment and saving the rest of the money. I used it all to buy lottery tickets." My husband revealed a thick stack of paper. "What? No way! That's ridiculous! Is this a bad joke?" I didn't want to believe that the stack of paper was all lottery tickets, so I blinked a couple times and looked again at what my husband was holding. But there was no doubt that it was lottery tickets. I was dumbfounded by the thickness of the stack. You told me to stop relying on luck after the bear incident. So instead, I invested in something with a basis. What basis? Listen, this new lottery has 10 million tickets per unit. This year, 26 units were sold. Since the winning amount is set per unit, there are 26 first-place prizes. So, if you only buy one ticket every year, your chances of winning first place are 1 in 10 million. But I bought 1,500 tickets this time, so my chances are now 1 in 666,666. Isn't that amazing? What? You're not gonna win! Do you realize you're saying that there's a 666,665 in 666,666 chance you'll lose? But my chances definitely increased, right? You can't rely on something without a basis, like superstition. There's only luck in horse races and casinos, but there's always probability in the lottery. As for the result, it wasn't a complete loss, but we did win something. $900. We invested $4,500 and got back $900. This is ridiculous. Oh, stop it! Stop relying on luck or slim chances. You've learned that nothing good comes from relying on such things, right? Saving money is the only way. I lectured my husband for 2 hours. However, my husband misunderstood the meaning of saving money. One day, I suddenly found out about it. My daughter brought home a letter from school asking for the payment of the school lunch fee. That's strange. The lunch fee should be deducted from our savings account. We have been saving up for a down payment on a house, so there should be a balance of $10,000. I have been saving my part-time wages since I was single, and we have been putting the money left over from my husband's salary after living expenses into that account. It's strange that even the lunch fee couldn't be withdrawn. I went to the bank immediately. When I checked, there was a withdrawal from a company I'd never seen before, and the balance was $0. I couldn't help but shout in front of the ATM. When I got home, I looked up the company name on the internet. It was a securities company. What does this mean? Since I didn't know about it, it could only be my husband. During dinner, I took out the ATM receipt with trembling hands and asked, "Do you want to explain to me what this is all about?" Then he started to tell me something unbelievable. "It's okay. I can still get it back." What? I don't understand what you're talking about. He took a book out of his commuter bag. The cover says, "Learn Forex in a week." That's what it's all about. My husband says, "What do you mean?" He replies, "When I bought the bear statue, I was told not to rely on luck. I agreed. When it came to the lottery, I was told not to rely on something without a basis. I agreed. So, I thought if there's a basis, I could definitely increase our money. This is the basis? I studied by reading books and also used a Forex simulation app for a week." Huh? You're saying you lost $100,000 just by reading books for a week? Forex apps aren't even using real money, and they're usually designed for solicitation, so you're likely to win. You get that, right? Well, actually, I won at first. I invested $1,000 and it turned into $1,100. You should have stopped there. But that's not the case. I couldn't help but be dumbfounded. So you're saying that if you had invested $10,000, it would have become $11,000? No, that's not what I mean. Listen to me. I didn't invest with such a naive mindset. My husband says with a solemn expression, I made a profit of $100 when $1,000 turned into $1,100. If I had put in $100,000 then, it would have become $110,000. I could have made $10,000, but in reality, I only made $100. I felt like I lost $9,900. I didn't steer towards an optimistic mindset that only thinks about profits. I shifted to a cautious direction to minimize losses. Seriously? What is this bonehead talking about? Who would use and lose $100K just by studying for a week? I don't even know what's going on anymore. The conclusion is the same. I yelled at him. But then he says, Wait, don't get so worked up. Look at this. This is the ad that got me started. He showed me the screen of his smartphone. I could see a title saying, It's easy to increase your money with the smartphone app. It's the same vibe as the It's easy to lose weight with this workout app that appears on my smartphone. The ad goes like this. The girl in the ad says, I won with Forex, so I'll treat you to lunch. This is the secret. Increase your income by trading Forex during lunch while working. This is like saying, I aced the test while training hard to make varsity football. Jesus, are you a high school student? To be deceived by this, read a fishy book for a week, use a little app, and then lose $100K of our household money just because you had a small win is unbelievable. I slumped down onto a chair. No, it's okay. I still have $50 in my wallet. You're hopeless if you think you can get back $100,000 with that $50. There's nothing left to say to my unrepentant husband. It's over. That stupid bear statue was still sort of acceptable, but ever since he spent his entire bonus on those lottery tickets, those words have been on my mind. Let's get a divorce. His eyes widened. Of course, I didn't want to say such a thing. But we have a daughter, and with this much money already spent, there's no choice but to make that decision. However, to my surprise, my husband suddenly started yelling. Huh? I still have $50, so I can figure something out. He was unexpectedly getting angry. I was taken aback by this, but I replied with a sigh. No, it's okay. You don't need to do anything anymore. It's just impossible to stay together with you after you've lost $100K. Wait a minute. What do you mean? Do you care more about money than me? He began to get angry in a strange way. Why are we even talking about this? I was amazed by the turn this conversation took. Then he threw even more shocking words at me. You money grubber! Huh? Money grubber? I could feel my emotions cooling down rapidly. That's right! You just realized that now? I was surprised at how cold my own words sounded. Huh? He seemed taken aback. Little by little, my resentment towards him began to spill from my mouth. Money grubber? What's so wrong with that? Who are you to act so important when you've squandered everything? My feelings towards my husband were now in a deep freeze. An awkward atmosphere flowed between us. But even the Beatles say all you need is love, and Ariana Grande says love is everything. What's that got to do with anything? Your argument is all over the place. Hearing this man who lost $100,000 talk about love felt so hollow. Ridiculous. At the same time, I started to feel that maybe he should experience the same thing, or even get a taste of his own medicine. So, you're saying love is more important than money? I returned his words with a counterattack. Yeah, that's right. Fine. Remember those words, you jerk! I will never forgive the crime of losing $100,000 and the stupidity of his actions. I lit a fire in my frozen heart. We had our living expenses separate, so we were okay for the time being. My revenge began from here. 3 months later, as the year grew colder towards its end, my husband came home and immediately opened his mouth wide in surprise. What the hell is this? What do you mean? It's a tiger statue. Why a tiger? In the living room, there was a life-size 10-foot-long tiger statue. It was extremely realistic, even with its rough fur. Our daughter was riding on the huge statue that took up half of the living room, playing happily. I got it cheap on TV shopping, I smiled. They were getting rid of their rabbit figurines and statues for next year's zodiac sign, so they were clearing their inventory. Huh? He exclaimed. The year of the tiger is soon over. Well, that's to be expected. His question was too predictable. But it was cheap. And you know, tigers are said to bring good luck by capturing fortune. Rabbits don't have that kind of symbolism. Huh? It was originally $1,000, but it went down to $500 in the year-end inventory sale. It would be nice to capture some fortune. My husband stared in disbelief and dropped his briefcase. Take that, you jerk! This is a payback of the bear. But I didn't stop my counterattack there. I got a bonus. My husband hesitantly brought up the topic during dinner. Yes, you did. On December 10th, my husband received his winter bonus. Since the tiger incident, when I started squandering money, he seemed to be terrified of this day. Please don't spend it on things like lottery tickets, he said preemptively. Look who's talking. I didn't buy any lottery tickets, but... I grinned. I used the entire bonus to buy New Year's cards with lottery prizes attached. My husband's mouth hung open. Huh? Well, those cards aren't just for sending New Year's greetings. If you hold on to them, you can win luxurious prizes when the winning numbers are announced. I bought so many, I'm looking forward to the lottery results. You spent your summer bonus freely, so I used the winter one. He turned pale. He realized that I intended to pay him back in full. The fear was evident on his face. When the winning numbers for the New Year's cards with lottery prizes were announced, we won a few gift packages. We got fruits and meat. In other words, we had poured the entire bonus into it, and all we got back was fruits and meat. I served steak to my husband, saying, "Enjoy the bonus-flavored steak." But checking all those New Year's card numbers was hard work, especially with my bad eyes. I asked Kendra to help, but it still took us nearly 4 hours. Despite the fact that I shared an amusing episode of hard work, my husband ate his steak with a tearful expression. Then, a month later, as I sipped soup at dinner, I said, "You know, we had living expenses, right? I used that to buy some books." My husband choked on his soup. You could see that he thought I had finally started tapping into our last resort, the living expenses to buy those books. Considering my previous acts of revenge, it's not hard to imagine. His face grew even paler. I couldn't care less about his mood. I pressed on. I saw an advertisement on my smartphone and thought, why not? At this point, my husband began to tear up. "Please, stop," he said with a trembling voice. I never thought you'd go this far with your revenge. If you take our living expenses, we won't be able to survive. Let's end this. I agreed to the divorce." His voice was shaking, as was his body. I never thought losing money in an instant would be so terrifying. Well, it's nowhere near the $100,000 that you squandered. I know that. I'm really, truly sorry, and I never thought it would be this scary. But it's already too late. I will never forgive him for calling me a money grubber, and human nature doesn't change. No matter how much he cries or apologizes, nothing will change now. You understand now, right? The Beatles and Ariana Grande are saying all you need is love and love is everything, but that's only when they already have enough money. Yes. All right. Since you squandered $100,000, I'll take 4/5 of the remaining living expenses, and you'll pay for the child support. Yes. He signed the divorce papers. With this, everything was over for me. I put the papers in my bag. I'll take them to the city hall tomorrow. About the books I bought, I decided to tell him the conclusion of the matter. I spread out several books in front of my husband. The titles were IT Passport and Fundamental Information Technology Engineer. I got these 2 qualifications. Books can be used for things like this, you know? I then showed my ex-husband the screen that came up when I tapped my smartphone. I saw an ad for this online computer school, and it said it was a national qualification, so I thought this was the only way to get my income back. I attended online computer school classes to get these 2 qualifications. He bought 1 book on foreign exchange trading, but I bought 2 copies each of IT Passport and Fundamental Information Processing, so I had a total of 4 books. I continued. Actually, I planned to spend more living expenses to attend a computer school. But when I said, my husband squandered $100K and I have to divorce him, but I can't rebuild my life without a full-time job history, I was accepted into a vocational school with a corporate internship program. During vocational training, I managed to obtain the Applied Information Processing Technician qualification, and so I will become a system engineer no matter what. My husband was looking down. I continued. I told you, didn't I? With a solid foundation, you can definitely increase your income. And by foundation, I mean obtaining qualifications like this. You can't easily make money with half-baked knowledge. Even if you called me a money grubber, I was determined to divorce you. I knew that you would look down on me when that happened, saying, "What can a part-time housewife do after a divorce? You can't survive." I couldn't stand being told that. So, as a money grubber, I thought hard about a surefire way to make money. That's why I've been working single-mindedly for the past 6 months to get my hands on a method that will definitely make me money. Right? It's money over love, isn't it? Yes, it is money over love, he said, suddenly standing up and then sitting down. Please, support me. My angry shout echoed throughout the room. Hell no, you money grubber! And so I attended vocational school. At the self-introduction session at the vocational school, I announced, I'm divorced, and then declared, I have no way out but to do this. This is what it means to have one's resolve set. Maybe because of that, I made friends who encouraged each other to pass the exams. I attended the vocational school happily. There, I obtained the Applied Information Processing Technician qualification as well. I got a job at the company where I went for the corporate internship training. My annual salary exceeded that of my ex-husband. By the way, although handling fees are deducted from New Year's gift lottery postcards, they will refund the money if they are not used. I lost some money, but I managed to get it back that way. I thought it would be too cheap to take the tiger statue, so I left him at my ex-husband's house. Since child support is deducted from his salary, he has to live on a tight budget. He had no choice but to move into a studio apartment with a shared bath and toilet, along with the tiger. When my daughter went to check on him, the tiger was filling up his studio, and there seemed to be a bear at the entrance. Although he has to sleep in a strange position because he's blocked by the tiger, he said something like, "I became attached to the tiger." I think it might have been the last present for him. If you want money, half-baked wisdom won't do. You need to obtain thorough wisdom. I wrote the exam date for the database specialist exam, which is a higher qualification than the applied information technology engineer, in my schedule.